takes the general warning of verse 7 and applies it directly to his disciples now. He's telling his disciples, woe to the world, woe to that man, but if your hand, as one of his followers, someone calling yourself a follower of Jesus Christ, if your hand, your foot, he makes it personal. Of course, this evil world, some sick person is not going to care about stumbling weak Christians, a weak believer who's vulnerable. That's just what they do. They don't care about someone's spiritual state. But if I'm claiming to be his follower, I have to care about them. I am to make whatever personal sacrifices are necessary for the benefit of one who is weaker. I'm to make the personal sacrifice. That's how his true church operates. He's illustrating that through the use of some pretty graphic hyperbole here. Cut off your hand, cut off your foot, pluck out your eye. That's pretty graphic, it's pretty extreme. He's using deliberate overstatement to make his point and to make it understood how serious he is about this. You know, we walk around here, man, and we have a lot of kids around here. Any of us can stumble them by the way we live. If I choose to live for myself, if I choose to just, it's all about me and what I do, and these little kids, they're looking up to us, dude. They're looking up to us in the room over there, and we can totally stumble them by the way we live and the way we conduct our lives. And Jesus is telling his followers a deliberate overstatement. These are exaggerated overstatements were used by Jesus. If you know, in the Sermon on the Mount in chapter 5, he uses the same language in the context of personal holiness. Here he's speaking with regards to his disciples' concern for one another, for other believers, weaker believers. They had asked, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Who's the most important? The most important, he's answering them, is the believer with the greatest need. If there was a car wreck out on the belt line, one person had a bruised arm, the other person's bleeding to death, who would receive the immediate attention? Who's more important? My way of thinking, if I'm going to follow Jesus, has to change. It has to be converted, he says, from the way that the world thinks. See, Jesus isn't like, oh, there goes Billy Graham, dude. Wow, there's John MacArthur. Wow, James Dobson, the hero of the faith. And he's not waiting at the gates going, man, you are my prized possession. Not to take anything away from these men's achievements. But an infinite, eternal God is not impressed. If Jesus came to earth while they were alive, he wouldn't seek them out to go out to lunch. He goes to the person with the greatest need. He sought out the woman at the well, or the lame man at the pool of Bethesda, who didn't have anyone to bring him into the water. That's who he sought out. He didn't go to the high priest's house and, hey, can we get together sometime? That's how those considered the most important, the religious leaders, that's how they were able to trap Jesus. We know he's going to help somebody on the Sabbath, so we'll bring this lame man in with a withered hand, and he won't be able to not help him. This is how sick they are. And that's how sick a lot of people think.